We're going to meet Hector Davis, a 40-year-old town planner, loves his wife and teenage daughters. He enjoys listening to Kiss, Gary Glitter and T-Rex. But in his journey, he's had an extraordinary turn of events.
Yes, he gets caught where he shouldn't be, shall we say, in the local massage parlour, which is erroneously raided by police. So he snatches up his clothing and runs. And he goes to the local park. He finds himself in the local park behind a tree, and he starts to get dressed, whereupon he's sprung by two schoolgirls who film him on their mobile phone. And he's rescued by a Mark Bolan impersonator, Mark Bolan being the late singer with T-Rex, one of his idols. In the wake of the mobile phone footage, Hector's marriage falls apart, and so I wanted to deal with the fallout of Hector's marriage. He gets falsely accused of taking a bribe and has to stand aside from his job as well. So I wanted to deal with the issues of male depression in adults, because he does experience some of that, and he has to get his life back on track. And he's supported by a cast of characters such as his new friend Kat, who we met at the massage parlour, and his new benefactor being his new landlord, which is the Mark Bolan impersonator, and his sister who wants to get married to her partner, who happens to be another woman.
By addressing some of those issues, like depression, it's addressed in a nature and understanding that people can relate to. It's not hidden in there.
I think people can relate to it. I didn't want to do it very obviously, because one of the first rules of fiction writing is don't tell your reader, show them. Don't say Hector was depressed. I wanted to show he was depressed and how he comes to terms with it. And
unfolds, of course. Now, these ideas that you've got, and for your book so far, vagrancies of mind, you're suggesting.
Yes. I had a friend who did sex work, and she told me an anecdote once which stuck in my mind. I thought it was a very funny one, so I built on that. It's not quite what happens to Hector, but it kind of developed from that. And as far as the Mark Bolan impersonator goes, well, that was just a bit of a labour of love for me, because I'm a bit of a glam rock tragic. And I did play trivia years ago with a guy who impersonated Benny in an ABBA band, but to me, I thought, well, ABBA's every day and I find them a bit dull, so I thought, well, I'd do something different and go for someone enigmatic like Mark Bolan. And as far as Hector's sister goes, a very good friend of mine, she attended a same-sex marriage, and I just got thinking about it from that,
Covered a few bases here in everyday life in many ways. So there are other rules when it comes to setting out to write a book of this nature that you follow.
Try not to make it obvious to the reader. It's the thing to do with writing, with creative writing, is to not tell the reader anything but show them. Also, some things you can do when building your characters. Years ago, in a creative writing class, I was given a questionnaire. It was called 20 Questions, and it asks the basics like how old are you, what do you look like, do you have brothers and sisters, where do you live, and then it goes on, how would you spend $1 million? What are you most ashamed of? What are you most frightened of? What are you most proud of? And even though you don't necessarily have to put those in the story per se, they help you figure out how your character will respond when faced with a certain situation.
If there's a tad more information people want about you and the book, you blog at the moment, I think, don't you?
Yes, I do blog, and the books can be really, you can go to any bookstore, and if it's not in stock, heaven forbid, you can actually, because books go on a database, the bookshop can order it in for you. I think the publishers have been in touch with Hunter Book at Scones, and I think they'll be stocking it. And the book's available direct from the publisher, being Zeus Publications, Zeus as in the Greek god, and it's available on Amazon.com as well. The blog site is Bingles Blog, BINGELLS blog.blogspot.com, and sometimes you have to do .au, but usually if you just do .com, it will take you there.